Hello, spiritual seeker. This is Deepa Liu, and I'm the creative mystic. And I ring this bell to awaken you to your creative mystic, your divine presence that is within you each and every moment of your day. All right. Well, today I was thinking about, really want to create like something for the holiday season, bring a holiday blessing to you. And, as I was sitting there thinking about, oh, I'd really like to do a holiday blessing for everybody. And I was thinking about how, what it could be. And all of a sudden, my Jesus portal popped in my head telling me I want to volunteer. And it was like, oh, okay. And what's interesting about this is that I've completed this Jesus portal a while back, and it was all about connecting with the Christ consciousness energy and more of the Christ consciousness energy that he was carrying forth, not so much about the man Jesus. Because one of the things I realized when I created this portal, it's about that we all have access to this Christ consciousness energy and not about the person. And so when he volunteered, I was surprised just because he's not volunteered in any other situation. Any of you who've listened to my other podcasts, you know that with my spiritual success coaching, my spirit guide portals come in and volunteer and give intuitive guidance and zero in on the actual issues my clients are having so that they know like what's blocking them or what challenge they're having, what they need to do to actually overcome this block, or what do they need to do to step into their purpose. And all the clients I've had and been working with and doing this since I've been doing it, um, the Jesus portal has never volunteered. He's always just been kind of hanging on my wall and blessing me as I work in my, in my studio and in my office, but he hasn't volunteered. So I was really surprised when he volunteered today. I was like, Jesus, are you wanting to, you're the one who wants to volunteer? Because I double checked with them and it was yes. So we're going to tune in to his vibration. If you're listening to this in the car, you obviously aren't going to want to close your eyes, but you can be open to receiving the energy that's coming through. Okay. And if you can and you want to go see him, you can pop over to YouTube and watch the video where you can see Jesus, the Christ consciousness spirit guide portal. Okay. So let's just take a moment. And if you aren't driving, take that moment to focus on your breath. And just focus on your breath so you can let go of all that busyness, all the distractions. And take that deep belly breath where the inhalation into the belly causes it to rise with that inhalation and fall with the exhalation. And inhale again, just drawing in the energy of focus. And exhale, letting go of that busyness, those distractions. And inhale again, drawing in the vibration of divine presence, specifically the divine presence of the Christ consciousness. And exhale, allowing that Christ consciousness to expand within every fiber of your being. Now I'm going to do a prayer and you can follow along or do your own silently. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Great Spirit of the Universe, and the Jesus Christ Consciousness Portal, who so graciously volunteered to be here today to give a blessing and a message. We ask that our hearts and minds be open and receptive to all the blessings, all the guidance. And we ask that our hearts and minds be open and willing to receive the guidance, to receive the blessings, and to receive, most of all, the transformation that He wishes to bless us with. Peace. Amen. So just take a moment to tune in by consciously asking for the Christ consciousness to be one with you, for you to be awake in that energy. And then just if you're listening, just tune into that energy. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually open your eyes now and gaze into the image of the Jesus portal. And as you gaze into that image, just notice, is there any movement? Do any colors drop out of you? Are there any sensings in your body or in your mind? And as you notice anything, if you do, just ask the Christ consciousness portal, what does that mean? And as you continue to gaze in the image, or that you actually just hold the space of the Christ consciousness energy, if you're just listening, I'm going to tune in to the Spirit Guide portal and ask what guidance and blessing He has for you today. Well, He's coming here today, and He's saying that what He's blessing everybody with is He's blessing everybody with the divine light. And He's saying about, like, if you look at the image, you see the light coming out of His third eye, and He's saying that He's blessing you now. He wants it to rain down on you, and that you be receptive and open to receiving these blessings of divine light, because He says the divine light is the carrier of so much healing and transformation, that the light, the white light, carries all the spectrums of the colors that are available to you, and all the spectrums of healing that are available to you. He's saying the divine light can awaken that, can spark that. And He's really wanting you to understand that this divine light is already within you. He's saying that when you start to open up to the Christ consciousness energy, the energy that's available to everyone, no matter what spiritual path you are on, He's saying that you become more open, you become more aware of, like, what you're here to do, what you're here to be, what you're here to, fulfill, and that the true step to help you grow spiritually is owning why you're here on the planet. And when He's talking about why you're here on the planet, He's talking about, like, what your purposes are, what you're here to, like, actually do that is going to help you, help somebody else in the world, help transform something, like maybe the idea that from fear to love, but that you're here to actually help with some transformation. Everybody's on the planet to help with some kind of transformation. It might be the transformation of one person's life. It might be the transformation of the way the whole system works. But we're here to actually bring the energy of expansion, of expansiveness, of growth into the realm of possibility, into the realm of what you can do to make the world a better place. Because that's what expansion and growth is all about, is about how can we actually make it a more peaceful, joyful, loving, expansive place. So how can we bring the energy of the oneness and unity that is really the truth, rather than the divisiveness and separateness? And He's really talking about receiving the blessings of the divine light within yourself. So He's saying that, yes, it could be coming from outside you at some point, but it's really about receiving the inner light within you. And how you know that you're receiving it is that you will feel more expansive. You will feel like more heart opening, like you have a more open heart, and that you will be able to go forth in your day feeling more joy. All right. So He actually wants to, He's blessing you with that right now, but He also wants to give you a little practice to do. And one of the things He wants to help you do is to connect with that Christ consciousness energy, because He says too many people are separated from it, and we need to come back to it because it is the seat of all of the wisdom to be able to do things. It's the seat of the all-knowingness of the answers to every problem, because he says that every problem there's a solution, but it's about getting in the vibration of solution rather than problem, and that most people in the world are focused too much on the problem and not enough on the solution. And so he really wants to transform your life by helping you transform to connect with that energy of solution rather than problem. And he's saying that the solution resides in the Christ consciousness energy, because that's connected to the all-knowing energy that exists here every moment of every day. Okay? So what he wants you to do is he wants you to, anytime you're feeling stressed, anxious, frustrated, maybe angry, even could be feeling, kind of a low energy, he's saying that you want to consciously become aware that you've dropped out of any kind of Christ consciousness or superconscious thinking. You've fallen into your subconscious mind, your subconscious thinking, and you need to shift out of it. So how you do that is become aware first one that you've shifted into this anxious, worried kind of energy. And then he says he wants you to use the power of the pause. He says the pause has more power than you can imagine. That you take that moment and you pause. And in that pause, you go, you know what? I've slipped out of my higher self. Let me come back to my higher self. And he says he wants you to close your eyes and take a deep belly breath and breathe in the energy of connecting back to your higher self, to the Christ consciousness energy. And as you have your eyes closed, you're supposed to have them at about a 45-degree angle, as if you're looking at a mountain in the distance, but with your eyes closed, focusing that energy at the point between the eyebrows, the third eye. Taking that deep inhalation, just knowing you're drawing in the energy of awakening to that Christ consciousness. And then exhale. And he says that you do that deep inhalation of connecting and releasing 3 or 4 times. And he says, and then notice the shift in your energy. Like, so if you were feeling stressed, do you all of a sudden feel a little calmer or a little less stressed? If you were feeling angry, do you feel a little less angry? Because that little bit of shift, he's saying, is you tipping your toe into the Christ consciousness energy. Now he's saying if you have a big shift, it means you've walked through the door, and that's fabulous. But he's saying that the important part is to recognize the small shifts, because what happens for a lot of people, if they don't get this big miraculous, like I see the light, or some dramatic change, they think it's not working. And he says that's the farthest thing from the truth. He said the truth is that the shifts are subtle unless you're highly aware. And so awareness is something that you have to practice to have those big ahas, or the big, like, seeing more of the light and things like that. So he's really recommending, rather than judging what's happening, to notice the subtle differences, the subtle shifts. And that will, as you continue to practice this on an ongoing basis of taking that moment, that 30 seconds, to pause, connect, and notice the subtle shift, that it will grow and it will continue to expand within you. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, greatness is within you. It's time to let it out. All right. And if you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment. You have a miraculous day. Blessings.